Hey, yo, foreigner, you crazy for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing I'm jab riding when I'm left hooking. Fiends said they love me cause they know I keep that sack moving. Sad to say, but this the life that I have grew in. I had to hustle, skipping class, man, I was true in. I can flip some.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bucket Discussions podcast, the channel, man. Hey, whatever you want to call it, man. We all about buckets over here, you feel me? So that's what you guys tune in for. But today I got a special type of video for you. Obviously, our last video was the biggest X factors for all playoff teams. But this video, man, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to talk about all the non-playoff teams and something that they have to look forward to in the regular season or even this offseason, you feel me? So let's get into it, man. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different teams have to look forward to. So we're basically going to do this video how we did it last week. We're going to start in the Eastern Conference. We're going to move our way to the Western Conference. So basically we're going to start with the 9th seed, and that is the Cavaliers. So the Cleveland Cavaliers have a very interesting squad this season. Honestly, I think there's a lot of stuff they can look forward to moving into next year. Obviously, Colin Sexton is one of the best young players in the league. I feel like everybody already kind of knows that already. But his running partner, Darius Garland, has really found his groove this season. Not only is Darius Garland, I feel like one of the best scoring point guards in the league, I also feel like he stepped it up a lot when it comes to the playmaking side of things as well. I feel like Darius Garland is a very underrated playmaker, and the fact that they have a lot of other young players, such as Evan Mobley, they have Jared Allen on the squad. I honestly can see this team making a playoff run next year, just because, I mean, obviously what we've seen from them this season, they barely missed the playoffs, and Colin Sexton was hurt damn near 80% of the season. So I feel like Cleveland Cavaliers have a lot to look forward to, and that is definitely one of them. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, though, I'd say one of their biggest goals for next season should be, making the playoffs from anywhere from the 3rd to 6th seed, personally, just because, like I said, Colin Sexton has been gone 80% of the season, and the fact that they barely missed the playoffs by this much is just insane, bro. So I definitely see a lot of bright sides when it comes to this Cleveland Cavaliers team. The number 10 seed in the Eastern Conference, we're going to be talking about the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the Charlotte Hornets are a very interesting squad, just because obviously they have one of the most electrifying young players in LaMelo Ball. They have players like Terry Rozier. They have Miles Bridges. They just acquired Montrezl Harrell at the trade deadline. So this team, I feel like, definitely has a lot to look forward to in the near future. The only problem is this team has just kind of been in the same cycle the past, I don't know, 3 to 4 years, where they finish about the 9th seed, the 10th seed, 11th seed, around that area, and it just seems like they can never get over that hump the next year, you feel me? So with the Charlotte Hornets finishing in 10th seed this year, I'd really like to see them step it up and try to shoot for that 8th seed. Obviously, that's really where obviously you want to be, because that's kind of where obviously the playoff bracket is. But being in the play-in now, where you could be the 9th or 10th seed and still get into the playoffs, that could possibly help them. Obviously, it didn't this year because they had to go against some very talented teams. But next year, man, I'd really like to see the Charlotte Hornets trying to shoot for that 8th to 7th to 6th seed, just because I really know that this squad is very talented from 1 to 15. It's just a matter of how they're going to use it, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, I feel like they should go out and try to get a big man this offseason. Obviously, I said they had Montrezl Harrell, but when I say a big man, I mean a big man. So I mean someone that could, you could throw on some of the best offensive centers, offensive bigs in the league, such as Joel Embiid, Jokic. Obviously, no one's going to stop those guys, but just someone to throw on them for the meantime. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'd really like to see the Charlotte Hornets shoot for that 8th to 7th to 6th seed next season, man. Coming at the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference, we're going to be talking about the New York Knicks. Honestly, one of the most underwhelming teams of the season, I feel like. Not just because of who they had on the roster. It wasn't anything like that. It was just because of how much progression they made last year when they did make the playoffs. And then just being really terrible, man, this season. There's really not even much to say about the Knicks this season. They were just very underwhelming, like I said. But after this season, I think, which a lot of Knicks fans were excited about, just the season ending in general, I think that you guys do have some stuff to look forward to this offseason and next year, man. Obviously, Julius Randle was one of the biggest stinkers this season when it just comes to individual performances and stuff like that. But honestly, I feel like with RJ Barrett blossoming into who he is and who he's becoming right now, I definitely feel like the Knicks have some stuff to look forward to. Now, obviously, you guys wanted to be right back in the playoffs, which I completely understand, but sometimes that's really just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Stuff could have been a lot worse for you guys this season. Obviously, like I said, Julius Randle was not looking like a most improved player like he was last season. So, whatever the Knicks do with him this offseason, whether they're trying to trade him and get him out of there because he did have a lot of just bad body language this season, I'd say just after this season, man, let your guy RJ Barrett just blossom and flourish, man. He's really looked like an all NBA player this season, and I honestly feel like he could be one of the best power forwards in the league if they just continue to let him flourish. Now, I know they made some offseason moves this past offseason, signing players like Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, because, like I said, they were trying to make a second playoff push. But unfortunately, that went downhill very fast in the season, or very quick at the beginning of the season. So, honestly, man, for the Knicks, I'd say just let RJ Barrett flourish. Also, Emmanuel Quickley, one of my favorite young players in the league personally. I feel like he has a very high ceiling, just like RJ Barrett, man. So, honestly, I'd say just roll with them too. Now, coming in at the number 12 seed, man, we're going to be talking about the Washington Wizards. Now, this team is very, very strange, honestly, to me, because the main reason for that is because they really look like one of the better teams at the beginning of the season. Now, I know, obviously, the beginning of the season doesn't determine where you're going to be later on in the season, but I was just very surprised seeing how great of basketball they were actually playing at the beginning of the season, you know what I'm saying? And then just to see them fall to the 12th seed. So that's just very, very unfortunate for the Washington Wizards. But honestly, you guys are one of the teams with a lot to look forward to, if you ask me. Obviously, you guys have Kyle Kuzma, who has really, honestly, probably had his best season this previous year, you feel me? So I'm really excited and happy for Kyle Kuzma getting his own opportunity. It is much deserved, and honestly, I feel like what we've seen from him this season, he could be one of the best two-way players in the league. I'm not saying one of the best players in the league, just two-way, you know what I'm saying? He's a very solid defender when he wants to be, just because of his size and stuff like that, and I feel like his scoring has made a major jump this season, obviously, from his previous year with the Lakers. Now that he's getting more of an opportunity to score, it's definitely going to help his scoring ability, obviously. So I'd say for the Washington Wizards, man, just let your young guys flourish. Obviously, like Kyle Kuzma, Roy Hachimura is a bucket, man. I feel like he could also be one of the best power forwards in the league. He improved his three-point percentage 20% this year. I remember last year, I want to say it was like a 22% three-point shooter. Now he's up to like 40 to 41% from the three-point line. So that is very important, especially when you're talking about a young power forward in this league developing, just trying to get better every season. So, yeah, I'd say Roy Hachimura and Kyle Kuzma are the things the Washington Wizards have to look forward to next season. Now, coming in at the number 13 seed, man, I want to go ahead and talk about the Indiana Pacers. Now, the Indiana Pacers made one of the biggest trades at the deadline. They traded one of their star players in Domantas Sabonis, and in return, they got one of the best young players in Tyrese Halliburton. Now, Tyrese Halliburton has, to me personally, established himself to be one of the best young guards in the league, man. I feel like there's so much that this kid can do that it's just kind of hard to overlook, you feel me? This kid, he can facilitate the ball, he can shoot the ball, and honestly, when he wants to, he can defend. He's not that big of a guy, but he can go out there and not necessarily lock down at the opposite team's best offensive player, but he can go out there and get in his head. He can make his night really, really rough for him. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say with the Indiana Pacers, man, if you guys can just continue to let Tyrese Halliburton flourish, and also if you guys can somehow try to get Miles Turner's contract out of there, I feel like that'd help you guys in just the rebuilding process as well. Now, obviously, Miles Turner isn't no slouch. He's not a bad player. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that he doesn't really fit the timeline. You feel me? And they've ran it back with the same team a couple years. That's why they traded Sabonis at the deadline. Now I feel like the next step in the right direction would be to get Miles Turner out there in return for maybe more assets, more shooting you could put around Tyrese Halliburton, something like that. But yeah, for the Indiana Pacers, man, I'd have to say just let Tyrese flourish, man. I really feel like he could be one of the best point guards in the league someday, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the Indiana Pacers, man. You guys have a decent amount to look forward to. So coming in at the 14th seed, man, we're going to be talking about the Detroit Pistons. Now, this team has a lot to look forward to. Now, obviously, they went out this past draft and they got one of the most promising young players in the league today in Cade Cunningham. And I feel like if you guys can just continue to build around this man and just let him be the vocal point of the team, you know what I'm saying? This team could honestly end up being a contending team within the next 3 to 4, 5 years, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because they have other young pieces such as Sadiq Bey. They have Killian Hayes, who I believe could work, you know, decently well with Cade Cunningham, and they also have other young players and stuff like that, like Beef Stew. So coming in at the 15th seed, man, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite young squads in the league today, and that is the Orlando Magic, man. Hey, this squad right here has a lot to look forward to. This past draft, man, they went out and got two of the best top 10 players in the draft, if you ask me personally, in Franz Wagner, and they also got Jalen Suggs. And honestly, I feel like you guys couldn't have hit on the nail any. All right, now that we finished the Eastern Conference, man, we're going to go ahead and transition into the Western Conference, and we're going to start with the 9th seed, and that is my Los Angeles Clippers, man. Hey, we went out in a terrible fashion, man, this season. I can't even lie. But, hey, man, the Clippers have a lot to look forward to next year. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard, their best player, was out pretty much, the whole season. He literally didn't play 1 out of 82 games. And PG was gone about 75 to 80% of the season this year. And we still finished the 9th. Well, technically, we finished the 8th seed. We got into the play-in. We just unfortunately lost both of those games in typical Clipper fashion. So, obviously, our season ended a little bit earlier than we wanted it to. But don't worry, man. We have a lot to look forward to with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George coming back, even one of our young guys in Jason Preston, who I'm very excited to see his development and see what he can do on the court for us. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I will say, the Clippers should look out for this offseason is trying to find, somewhat of an underrated playmaking point guard, because obviously we don't have the money to go just splurge on someone like Kyle Lowry or Lonzo Ball or something like that, you feel me? So we're going to have to make shit work with what we got. So, yeah, Clippers, go out there and get us a playmaking point guard. Don't get me wrong, I love my boy Reggie Jackson, but going down the stretch, dude, he is not it when we're trying to get other players open, you feel me? So, yeah, when Kawhi Leonard and PG come back, though, be on the lookout for the Clippers, y'all. Now, coming at the 10th seed in the Western Conference, man, we're going to be talking about the San Antonio Spurs. Now, this team, honestly, I feel like they overachieved this season, especially considering who they lost last season. They literally lost their best player in DeMar DeRozan, and they finished this season 10th seed. So, honestly, man, I really got to give the Spurs some credit, man, because usually when teams trade or just lose their best player in general, they're not even close to where they were the year before, you feel me? So the fact that they finished 10th seed while missing their best player or trading him away and a DeMar DeRozan, I feel like this shows a lot about you guys as young guys, especially DeJounte Murray, who I feel like has made one of the biggest leaps I've personally seen in an NBA player's career. I remember watching him get drafted like 2016, 2017, sometime around then, and just seeing his build and seeing I feel like this dude can honestly be one of the most efficient players in the league someday, and that's definitely what he's came into already. He's a triple-double machine. I believe he's only like 25, 26, something like that. So still a very young player. And I'd also like to give a shout-out to their other young players, such as Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, Jacob Poeltl. I feel like these dudes honestly could make a playoff push next year. Just considering, like I said, they finished 10th seed this season after trading their best player in DeMar DeRozan. So I don't know, man. This ceiling is very high for the San Antonio Spurs team, man. So watch out for these guys. Now, for the next team we're going to be talking about coming in at the 11th seed in the Western Conference, man, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, man. Now, hey, honestly, I've already killed them enough. They shouldn't even been in the 11th seed to begin with. But, hey, we're here, So now we got to talk about what they can look forward to this offseason and stuff they can look forward to maybe next regular season. Now, I'm not even going to sit here and try to sugarcoat shit because the Lakers really do not have a lot to look forward to. If anything, you guys should be dreading this because you guys have a lot to shit to deal with. Obviously, we can start with Russell Westbrook's contract. I'm not going to sit here and say his contract's untradeable because I don't think any contract in NBA history is untradeable. There's someone out there that wants him somewhere, you feel me? It's just going to be hard, especially considering what you guys might get in return. Now, that's my biggest question for you guys is who you guys can get in return for Russell Westbrook. Now, obviously, we all know Russell Westbrook is an all-NBA player, but this past season, it's just kind of hard to determine his trade value, you feel me? I just feel like if you guys can get any type of shooting around him, any type of shooting, I don't care if it's players like Buddy Hield, I don't care if it's players like Pat Connaughton, I don't care if it's players like Landry Shamet. Just someone to shoot the ball, because I'll tell you what, when Malik Monk is your guys' best three-point shooter, you guys are in for a long season, man. If Malik Monk is your guys' best shooter, trust me, you guys will not be successful at all. And also, we should probably speak on the Anthony Davis situation now. Anthony Davis is an all-NBA player, and I personally feel like the Lakers should try to at least give him another chance before they go and try to trade him just because he's been injury prone. But I'd personally say, man, this offseason you guys should obviously try to figure out what you guys can get in return for Russell Westbrook. But I'd also be just keeping an eye out what I can get for Anthony Davis. And also I feel like LeBron should be trying to help AD this offseason, just trying to get his body ramped up and in shape for the next regular season. Now, I'm not sitting here going to say he should take LeBron's full workout routine. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying just take the proper steps to take better care of yourself, man, because I'm not even a Lakers fan, but I'm really tired of seeing you get hurt too, man. It sucks just as an NBA fan because you're one of the best players in the league, and the fact that you keep getting hurt every single season is getting really redundant, honestly, man. I mean, that's the best word I can even think of when it comes to that. So, yeah, man, the Lakers, you guys do not have a lot to look forward to, but I feel like you guys will make it work just because you guys are the Lakers. So, yeah, let's move on. Now, coming in at the 12th seed, man, we got the Sacramento Kings. Now, obviously, the Kings have been one of the most underwhelming teams for, like, the past a decade and a half. So, I mean, there's really not much to say about this team. But one thing I will say is, now that you guys did trade Tyrese Halliburton, you guys obviously gave more room for De'Aaron Fox to grow and just more room for him to develop, which I think is very important because what we've seen the second half of the season was De'Aaron Fox was looking like an all-star caliber player again. And that's really what the Sacramento Kings want, especially moving into the offseason. So coming back next year, you guys can, start strong with Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. Even Harrison Barnes was pretty impressive this season. I feel like you guys could, potentially make a playoff push next year, but I'm not going to sit here and count on the Kings to make the playoffs because that'd be silly as fuck of me to do that. So, yeah, man, I just say De'Aaron Fox, letting him, I don't want to say flourish because I feel like he's already established himself as one of the best NBA point guards. He just had a down year. And now that, like I said, Tyrese is gone, it gives him more room to do what the hell he wants on the court. So, yeah, man, I said the Kings' biggest thing they have to look forward to is De'Aaron Fox, man. Now, coming in at the 14th seed in the Western Conference, man, we're going to be talking about one of the teams that I've been waiting to talk about, and that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. Now, obviously, this team has a bunch of draft capital, as you guys know. They got a lot of draft picks from my Los Angeles Clippers and some other trades they made down the line. But personally, I'd really like to see what they could use these assets / picks for this season, this offseason, man. Because obviously Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the most underrated players in the league. I feel like he could be one of the best point guards in the league, and I wouldn't like seeing the Oklahoma City Thunder just waste his younger years trying to wait for draft picks to come in. Like, that's just kind of corny to me if you ask me. Like, yeah, you guys want to be good in the future, but you guys have some young, great players on the team right now if you guys would just look at your roster, you feel me? So if I was Sam Presti or whoever the fucking GM of that team is, man, I would try to trade some of those draft picks to get some, more younger talent or some players that would fit their timeline right now and help Shai and Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, just help these guys make a playoff push, you feel me? Because I truly believe that this team could be good enough to make a playoff push, because we've seen this season that they beat some, pretty decent teams that did make the playoffs. So, yeah, I'd really like to see the Oklahoma City Thunder just, put more players around Shea. I know you guys want to rebuild. You guys want to have all these draft picks in like 2026, 2027. Like, that's cool and all, but like at the end of the day, who gives a fuck if you guys have a player like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? So that's pretty much my take on the Oklahoma City Thunder's draft picks, all that. Yeah, I'd personally like to see you guys put more young players in the league that are right now that are good alongside Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. Just be on the lookout for some more young players to put around them guys. Now, last but certainly not least, we're going to be talking about the 15th seed in the Western Conference, and that is the Houston Rockets. Now, the Houston Rockets, man, they obviously have a lot to look forward to next season, just considering how young this team is. I believe they are the youngest team in the league when it comes to the age average. So, you guys definitely have a lot to look forward to, man, within the next 4 to 5 years. Just seeing these guys progress, you know what I'm saying? It was Jalen Green's first season, and Jalen Green being one of the most electrifying young players in the league, man, I feel like he could definitely take your guys' team to the next level eventually. Obviously, next season won't be the season, just because these young guys are still going to be developing, you feel me? But just to see young guys like Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Sengun, they even got Josh Christopher, you know what I'm saying, Jayshawn Tate. I feel like this team definitely has some potential when it comes to maybe the next 3 to 4 years, like I said, because when it comes to the personnel right now in the 2021-2022 NBA season, it's just not enough, you feel me? But I feel like as time goes along and these guys develop, they are obviously going to get better. And yeah, man, don't be surprised if you see the Houston Rockets start contending within the next maybe not within the next 4 to 5 years, but in about 4 to 5 years, you feel me? So yeah, man, hey, be on the lookout for the Houston Rockets, man. But hey, man, that pretty much wraps up the video. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Just coming to chop it up with me for a little bit, hearing what I got to say about the non-playoff teams and stuff like that. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave it a like and make sure to share it with your friends. Do all of that great stuff, man. It helps our videos get out there to more people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to be global, you feel me? So, yeah. Until next time, y'all, enjoy basketball.
In the jungle like I'm Conan, count up with both hands. Switch the flow like it was broken. I'm on the road, man, making plays just like DeRozan. I shoot my shot, and that shit wetter than the ocean. I brag a lot, but with the wind and come the boasting. I made a lot from them apartments that I sold, and he didn't make it up to college. So them streets where he enrolled in. I know I'm a scholar from the moments that I was exposed in.